Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. I'm back again. It's another grim kind of day. As I'm sure the title told you, we're going to talk about food shortages and how they are already occurring and why I think they are already occurring. But that was not the topic I was going to make a video on today. I did have another one in mind. I didn't really want to make this video because I make a lot of videos about food shortages and things like that. So I didn't really think you needed another one, but apparently we do. Because food shortages are happening now. And what really set it off today was my wife went to the grocery store this morning and spent a lot of money on very little food. So prices have definitely skyrocketed. To kick off the video, let's talk about cows. Because cattle are now being fed old bakery items, old donuts, things that are being thrown out. You know, bakery items typically only have a shelf life of a day or two from grocery stores and things like that, so they typically throw them away. Now they're feeding them to the animals because the farmers can no longer afford corn and other grains for their cows and other animals. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. But that goes along with what I said about the meat, basically, how the meat prices are going to go down because they're going to have to start killing off more and more animals because they can't afford to feed them, or they just can't feed them. So they're going to start killing the animals, and therefore you're going to have a flood of meat on the market, and it's going to be cheaply priced. If it hasn't happened already in your area, it's coming. So food shortages, I've been seeing pictures, I've been watching videos, I've been hearing things, I've seen articles. The bakery goods, I've actually had comments on videos for it, but I've also seen an ad for I don't watch the news and I don't read the news, but I do check the weather quite often. It's kind of a requirement for my job, and I was checking AccuWeather yesterday evening to see what the forecast was for, today and tomorrow. But on there's always headlines, and I tend to glance at them and read them, and one of them was about the bakery items being fed to the livestock. So yeah, that is actually mainstream media that is putting that up, so it's not just people saying it on YouTube. It's real. You can see it. Grocery stores are running out of canned foods. They are. You can go to almost any grocery store in the United States right now, and somewhere you're going to see empty shelves. I can almost guarantee it. It's happening in my area. I know of from comments on YouTube videos. I know from videos I've watched. It's happening everywhere in the United States and probably Canada also. There are food shortages. We are having massive decline in, there are signs up in grocery stores along the canned vegetables and canned fruits and stuff like that they are out of stock, and when it comes back in, you will be notified, or some BS like that. Point of the matter is the shelves are already starting to empty, but it's not for the reasons you would think. We were expecting it. Anybody who's a prepper, anybody who watches YouTube or is in any of this kind of survivalist prepper, or even some of the bushcraft guys, that they all know this. We all know that food shortages are coming, but we were all predicting it not until spring, maybe late winter this year, early spring next year. At least that was my thoughts, because we haven't run out of our food storage yet from last year's crops. But the reasons I believe we're running out of food now is because it's panic buying by not only people like me and you, but also there are many very rich people. I guess they're called the elites, the elitists, or whatever you want to call them. I just call them rich people. People who have too much money are buying up lots of food. They're buying lots and lots of food, and they are stockpiling this in facilities. They are buying up whole warehouses and storing food. And why are they doing this? They're doing it. You probably should too. They know what's coming. They can see it just as plainly as I can. It is coming. There is a lack of food already, and by spring of next year, you will see it. If our crops don't get planted to their fullest capacity on next year's growing season, we are all SOL. If you haven't looked up what SOL means yet, you should do that right now, because it's kind of important in this particular scenario. So food shortages are happening. I've seen videos. Ice Age Farmer is a YouTube channel I watch. He has a lot of videos on the grand solar minimum and a lot of videos on food shortages. He also can teach you how to grow certain foods, greenhouses, and things like that. He has a lot of really good videos. I greatly recommend his channel. I probably won't post a link in the description because I always forget to do so. So Ice Age Farmer look up his YouTube channel, please. There's a lot of YouTubers that got pictures up. They have all kinds of pictures up of grocery stores, shelves being empty. There's a lot of them that have first-hand accounts of farms that they either know farmers or they've, acquainted to people who know farmers, and they have first-hand accounts of how difficult the growing season has been. And even in the Midwest, especially in Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, we have not seen a lot of rain in the last month. It has definitely not broken any records like it had been in the previous months, but we are still flooded. We haven't had we've had a sporadic rain and thunderstorms here and there, but we haven't had really strong, hard rain sustained over a long period like we had previous months at all in July, probably near the beginning of July to now in August. But we're still flooded, like I said, especially down south. If you look anywhere down south, all the water from the north has finally reached them, and they're still flooded. There are lakes in my area that I typically fish at, and when I don't have a boat, which I don't currently, I fish from the banks. So I walk up next to and I cannot fish from the banks. I have my fishing license all year. I've been out to the lake about 5 times, and every time I cannot get to the bank because the water line is up into the trees. So unless I feel like climbing a tree and fishing off of a branch, it's not happening. And I don't think I could fish off a branch of a tree because I'd probably snag my hook and leaves and things like that. It would be a mess. Yeah, and how am I gonna? Don't even. So anyway, not fishing from trees. That's going to be impossible. Probably not impossible, but not practical. And I guess that goes right along with your preparedness. If you are prepared and fishing is one of your ways that you plan to procure food in a SHTF scenario. What are you going to do if you can't get to the lake? How you got to fish? And then you got to take into account if there's even going to be any fish left, because in that type of scenario, food shortage scenarios, you're going to see a lot of people who claim to be fishermen, a lot of people who don't have a clue. They're all going to be lining the lakes. You're going to see people all around lakes. Boats are going to be covered the lakes. Everybody's going to be trying to get fish. Deer are going to be hunted out of season. Squirrel, rabbit, your neighborhood cat. I mean, when you're hungry, you're hungry. So if your neighborhood cat looks like he has a little meat on his bones, what's for dinner? Chinese food. Okay, that was a stereotypical thing I should not have said, but I did anyway. So sorry. All right. So food shortages are happening. Have you prepared? Corn prices are skyrocketing. That's why they're not feeding grains to the livestock. Cows are eating old donuts because corn's too expensive. And if you look anywhere in the country, the average corn price a month ago had gone up by 40%. And now you're looking at almost a month ago it was 120% price increase. And now you're looking at almost 200%. And it's only going to go up from there. Food shortages are happening right now. Right now. Everywhere you look. It's only going to get worse. And like I said, if our growing season doesn't kick off really well in spring, we're all in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. I don't think everybody's going to start starving to death over winter, but by next year, if it doesn't grow well, it's not going to go well. I thought that was a little catchy phrase there. If it doesn't grow well, it's not going to go well. I don't know. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But either way, you're SOL. We're all going to die. Hey, that's about as grim as I get. I keep dropping this stupid pen. This is my S Pen for my Note 9, and it's a Bluetooth remote, and I can push this button to start and stop recordings, which I used to not use it, and I would be all like this in your face. But now I use it, and now I keep dropping it, so I constantly have to pick it up. I was recording a video a couple of days ago, and I was about 10 minutes into the video, and I accidentally hit the button to stop the video. And in the point of it is I'm not going to take the video back to my computer and spend an hour editing it to make it work, so I just remade the video and deleted the other one. So be careful with your S Pen. And that's about as grim as I'm going to get today. We're all going to starve to death at some point. I mean, you're going to die. You know that, right? I mean, you don't have this, I'm immortal kind of thing running through your head, right? You know you're going to die. We're all going to. I'm going to. You're going to. Your dog's going to. Your cat. Everybody. Everybody's going to die. That's just how life works. So being prepared for death is probably just as good idea as being prepared for lack of food. And in preparing for death, I would strongly suggest you start reading your Bible. So that's it for today. I hope it's not too grim for you. It's grim enough as it is.